We're here at RTX 2016. Mark Donica here with Adam Ellis from Rooster Teeth. So you've been with the company for quite some time now. You're working on a lot of stuff. I want to talk about something that just happened. You just wrapped up doing how-tos with Joel.
Yes.
Is there any particular reasoning behind that? Scheduling or?
Primarily like scheduling. Me and Joel have been doing how-tos since basically when I started. And of course, everyone's job evolves. I became a sysadmin, so I'm involved in a lot more tech stuff. But Joel also is about to do a project that's going to take him away for a while. He'll still be in Austin, but he'll be like basically working nonstop for 3 months. So we had to put how-tos on an indefinite hold, but we still are going to be able to do some stuff together. We're doing a center stage event here today where we're going to be playing Outlast. So it's bittersweet.
I mean, you guys always go back to Outlast. What is it about that game that that you think makes it such good content for everybody else to watch?
Because I hate it and Joel hates it. And I think
Perfect.
And I think that's the catalyst. Everyone else loving it because they want to see us in pain and in fear and crying. So it's pretty much why we play it.
That's for
the fans.
For the fans. Speaking of for the fans, one of the biggest surprises to come out of the company a little bit past RTX last year was 10 Little Roosters, and you had a very important beard-catching role in it. Are you allowed to say if you have any involvement, despite your fate, in, sorry for the spoiler if people haven't watched it, for 11 Little Roosters?
Well, I was in the trailer, so I think that gives a good hint. Although I don't know if all people, I don't know. I think so.
You and Jack are the Russians.
Right. At least in the trailer where I don't know if that's going to hold true. Maybe I won't be Russian. Who knows? But hopefully. But I think I'm going to be in it because I really want to be. So.
Yeah. How much was the script set while you guys were shooting, or did you even get to see the whole script?
For 10
Little Roosters.
I knew ahead of time when I was going to die, so it was no surprise to me, unfortunately. But I lasted a lot longer than I thought I would, so that's good. But yeah, it was pretty much set in stone, and yeah.
So one of our fans actually wanted to ask you about it, and it kind of made it clear because you showed up in Armour. How did you get into armor making?
So I have a fantastic girlfriend named Grace, or she goes by Zombie, and she's been cosplaying for almost 10 years or more. And so when we started dating, she was doing amazing costumes. I'm like, hey, listen, what if I wanted to do a costume? She's like, I'll show you. So we sat down, and over the course of like 2 months, we made a Stoic costume for me, and she made a Valka, which is Stoic's wife who ran away, from How to Train Your Dragon 2. And ever since then, like, I'll make costumes and I'll have her like help me come up with techniques or help me guide. Like, I made this the first time I've ever sewed anything. It's not perfect, but she helped me guide. She helped me guide through the process. So she's a very good mentor. And I have people at Rooster Teeth like Marcus Laporte, who's our art director. He's like every time I have a problem, I'll go to him and he'll come up with like a solution or a technique that I can use. And so I have like a ton of amazing people around me to help me like learn and start becoming better at this sort of stuff. I'm not great yet, but I'm really happy with where I am. So
as long as you're happy with where you are, that's really the key part, and that's one of the big messages from being at RTX is, and I tell this to people all the time who have no idea what Rooster Teeth is just as a convention, this is one of the nicest conventions ever, full of the people, the staff, the attendees, everything. So you're already talking about some ambitious costumes. Is there any dream metalwork project that you're either working on now or want to work on?
So I'm really big into like power armor stuff. So the Space Marines from StarCraft have potentially the coolest outfits ever. So in my dreams, if I could make a costume, that would be it. So we'll see what happens in like 10, 15 years when I develop my skills a lot more. We'll see how that goes.
Not a Warhammer 40K?
I like those guys, don't get me wrong, but like for me, I'm more connected to StarCraft because it's a game I played since I was like 9, so haven't done too much Warhammer stuff.
Well, speaking of games, you just got back from E3. You were part of the Nose coverage, and you've been on the patch a little bit more frequently. Are you going to be featured more on that channel for Rooster Teeth?
Yeah, you know, after me and Joel stopped being able to make videos together, I reached out to Ashley and told her, like, hey, I'll be around if you need any help. And so I do reads for them every now and again. Me and Joel actually are able to do reads now while he's in the office, which is fantastic. So I still get my dose of Joel. They asked me to be on the patch occasionally, and I got to go to E3. So yeah, been definitely more and more on the No channel lately, and it's been fun.
What was your favorite thing that you saw, something that you would want to take home and play immediately?
So Horizon Zero Dawn was kind of like expected, but that's still probably my number one. But Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin. We had Tim Schafer.
That was the VR one?
Yes. We had Tim Schafer come in, and they were playing a Psychonauts game that was in VR. And it was like, dude, I want to play this. So there's like that's basically going to make me buy a PSVR. So
what do you think is leading the VR charge? What's the best headset, do you think, for your money?
So I'm biased because I spent $900 on a Vive. So
Fair, that's fair.
Like, I have to say the Vive, but in all reality, I think that the PlayStation VR is bringing a lot more games to the scene. Like you can get like Star Trek VR because of PlayStation VR, getting Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin. I'm blanking, but they're bringing a ton of like developers to the scene, and hopefully a lot of that's going to translate over to the Vive, which is, you know, everyone just wants more games on their headset. I don't really care what headset you have, as long as you're able to play games from all the different platforms on it. I don't necessarily like platform exclusives, but if there needs to be a couple so that the developers can take more interest, then so be it.
Especially for VR, when it's such a I say niche market, but it's such a small market right now because it's so exclusive. You can't have even more exclusives on top of just the headset.
Right, exactly. There's a little bit of like headbutting between Oculus and Vive people right now, because there's been some Oculus exclusives or games that aren't coming to Vive, or they're exclusive to Oculus first. And, you know, I totally understand the business side of that, but as a player, it's like, all right, it's basically a different monitor at this point. Yeah. I just want to be able to play it on my monitor. But thankfully, there are people like making Revive who let you play Oculus games on the Vive. So it seems to be all working out, generally speaking, even though there's some tension.
So last question I'm going to ask you, what do you see yourself working on for the company by the time RTX 2017 comes around?
2017. Well, I have a new project that I can't talk about at all, but hopefully I'll be working on that, and I'll be able to like come back and say that's what it was I was talking about. But definitely more of that, and hopefully I'll be involved with more of the No stuff. I really had fun at E3, hosting the E3 stage and everything like that. So hopefully I get to do more of that stuff too.
Excellent. Everybody's a big fan of yours from the Rooster Teeth community. It was sad to see how to go, but really happy that you're going to stay active in the on camera with Rooster Teeth.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yes.
See you.